Have you ever thought that a small item next to your bed could affect your prostate, disrupt your sleep, cause nighttime urination, or even accelerate the decline of male hormones after the age of 60? It may sound hard to believe, but this is exactly what many leading doctors have begun to warn about. According to data from the National Institute on Aging, nearly 70% of men over the age of 65 experience chronic sleep disturbances. The cause is not always a medical condition, but often the radiation emitted by certain devices inside the bedroom. The frightening part is that most of these items are incredibly familiar and may be sitting right next to your head as you sleep. And item number 4 on this list is something almost everyone uses every night without even suspecting it. Dr. Kevin McVary, a leading urology specialist at Loyola University, once stated, "After age 60, if sleep quality declines, the male endocrine system enters a prolonged dormant state. When that happens, vitality begins to fade quietly before anyone realizes it." In this video, you will discover 5 seemingly harmless bedroom items that are actually disrupting the biological rhythms of older men. Along with that, we will explore safe and simple solutions to help restore energy and sleep quality in just a few days. Which of these devices are you using right now? Leave a comment below to share your experience. And do not take your eyes off this video. The most dangerous item is at the very end of the list. 1. Digital alarm clocks. Robert Hayes is 72 years old and lives alone in a rural area of Maine. He used to be an active man, walking every morning and gardening every afternoon. But over the past 2 years, everything started to change. He found it harder to sleep and often woke up in the middle of the night for no clear reason. When he got up in the morning, his body felt heavy, his mind was foggy, and his spirit drained. Even though he went to bed early, at first, he thought it was just part of aging, but then he began to wonder, why do others his age still feel sharp and full of energy, while he feels more and more exhausted after a conversation with his grandson, who works as a biomedical technician. He was introduced to a study from the Building Biology Institute in Germany. The study warned that digital alarm clocks emit low-frequency electromagnetic fields, EMFs, around the clock, often just inches from people's heads. These EMFs can directly affect sleep quality and the endocrine nervous system, especially in older adults. During deep sleep, the body needs an environment free of electrical interference in order to restore itself and regulate hormones, particularly melatonin. This hormone is closely linked to biological rhythms, energy recovery, and the stability of male hormones. When EMF radiation continually disrupts the brain regions responsible for hormone regulation, this process is quietly interrupted night after night, according to Dr. Elizabeth Plurd, a specialist in the effects of EMF on aging hormones. People over the age of 60 have 40% less cellular repair capacity than younger individuals. This makes them far more sensitive to sources of radiation that seem harmless, such as digital clocks. Robert decided to try a simple change. He replaced his digital alarm clock, which was only 30 centimeters from his head, with a battery-powered analog clock. He placed the new clock on a bookshelf more than 2 meters away from his bed. The result was beyond what he expected. After just 5 nights, he began sleeping straight through until morning. After 2 weeks, he noticed a clear improvement in his morning alertness and, more importantly, a return of inner vitality. He didn't change his medication or diet. All he did was remove a small item from beside his bed. If you are currently using a digital clock, especially one with a red or blue LED light that stays on all night, it's time to reconsider. Place it as far from your bed as possible. Ideally, at least 6 feet away. The best option is to switch to a battery-powered or wind-up mechanical clock. It may sound old-fashioned, but sometimes it is the simplest things that help the body return to its natural rhythm. 2. Wi-Fi and wireless devices in the bedroom. John Miller, a retired engineer aged 68 living in Oregon, has always been passionate about technology. He enjoyed the convenience of checking emails or reading the news from bed every morning. That is why he placed his Wi-Fi router on a shelf less than 2 meters from his bed. He had no idea that this very habit could be the reason his memory started to fade. Although he went to bed on time, he often woke up with a sluggish mind, unable to remember simple things like where he had placed his glasses or an appointment with a friend. More recently, he began to feel occasional irregular heartbeats, which worried his family enough to take him in for a checkup. The surprising part was not the results of his ECG, but a question from the doctor. Do you keep a Wi-Fi router in your bedroom? According to research from the University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA Medical Center. Radio frequency waves from Wi-Fi can penetrate the blood-brain barrier, especially in older adults whose natural brain defenses have become less effective. Dr. Jennifer Kleen, a specialist in neurology and biological radiation at UCLA, explained, continuous exposure to Wi-Fi waves during sleep may weaken the brain's protective barrier, allowing toxins and inflammatory agents to enter brain tissue. This directly affects memory, mental clarity, and even the hormonal coordination system in older men. After receiving this advice, John made a small change. He moved the Wi-Fi router to his downstairs office and installed an automatic timer to turn it off at night. At first, it was hard for him not to check his phone in bed, but he stayed committed for 3 weeks. The results surprised his entire family. His ability to remember names, recall events, and maintain energy throughout the day noticeably improved. Most remarkably, the irregular heart rhythms that had once appeared from time to time stopped entirely. Wi-Fi signals may be invisible, but they have a real and measurable impact on the nervous and endocrine systems of the body. Keeping a router close to your bed prevents your body from entering deep sleep, which is when natural hormone regeneration occurs most powerfully. For younger people, the body can compensate to some extent, but after the age of 60, recovery becomes slower. And every night of signal interference is a lost chance to heal. So do not wait until your memory weakens or your energy fades to take action. Turning off your Wi-Fi at night or moving the router to another room is the first step you can take tonight to protect your brain and restore inner vitality. And if Wi-Fi signals are what keep your body from resting fully at night, the next item, seemingly harmless, may be quietly harming your lungs and oxygen exchange every time you breathe while sleeping. 3. Air fresheners and ionizing devices. Charles Anderson, a 74-year-old man living in the coastal region of Texas, has always taken pride in keeping his home neat and pleasantly scented. He especially loved the soft fragrance from electric air fresheners, which he installed in the living room, kitchen, and, of course, the bedroom, to him. A relaxing environment was key to falling asleep more easily. But then, something strange began to happen. Charles started experiencing nasal congestion at night, and on some nights, he would even wake up because of mild shortness of breath. Occasionally, he had persistent dry coughs in the early morning for no apparent reason. He had no cold, did not smoke, and had made no major changes to his daily routine. The only constant presence was the artificial scent from the plug-in device near his bed. A study from the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine found that electronic air fresheners and ionizing devices can emit a combination of electromagnetic radiation and volatile chemical particles. When inhaled, especially during deep sleep, when breathing is slower and deeper, these particles can penetrate the lungs and interfere with oxygen exchange. In older adults, long-term nighttime oxygen reduction can lower the quality of deep sleep, which then affects energy recovery and the stability of male hormone systems. Dr. Robert Chen, a senior pulmonology specialist at Johns Hopkins, emphasized, the lungs of people over the age of 65 have reduced elasticity and stronger reactions to chemicals. When combined with electromagnetic fields from air fresheners, the impact can increase significantly, even reducing lung function by up to 23% in just 1 month. After some convincing from his daughter, Charles tried something he initially thought was odd. He removed all air fresheners from the bedroom and replaced them with a small sachet of dried lavender on the bookshelf and a few bowls of baking soda for natural odor absorption. He thought it was just a fun experiment. But to his surprise, after just 5 nights, his morning cough disappeared. He fell asleep more quickly, and the tightness in his chest each morning was gone. In truth, air quality has a direct effect on internal health, especially the respiratory and circulatory systems, both of which are critical foundations for the endocrine system and natural male vitality in older age. Artificially pleasant air is not necessarily healthy air. And for a body that has lived through over 60 springs, the most valuable thing is not a sweet smell, but clean, natural air that does not interfere with the body's inner repair mechanisms. If you still have a small plug-in air freshener in your bedroom just to feel more relaxed, you may be trading that comfort for your breath and your deep sleep, the very moments when your body is meant to fully restore itself. 4. Phone and tablet chargers. Stephen Clark. A 69-year-old retired professor living in California had a habit that seemed completely harmless. He placed his phone on the bedside table and charged it overnight, right next to his right hand. It was convenient. He could check the time, reply to late messages, and use it as an alarm clock in the morning. But he had no idea that the radiation zone produced by overnight charging could deeply affect sleep quality and the function of endocrine glands related to male vitality. On some mornings, he would wake up with a slight headache, mild ringing in his ears, and an unusual sense of fatigue. He tried many changes, adjusting his diet, exercising more, and even taking sleep support supplements, but nothing helped. It wasn't until he came across a report from the National Institute on Aging that he discovered overnight charging by the bed was one of the strongest sources of electromagnetic disturbance in the sleeping area. According to research led by Dr. William Patel, electronic devices emit electromagnetic fields up to 3 times stronger while charging than during normal use. This radiation does not only disrupt deep sleep, but also interferes with the hormonal cycles responsible for energy, recovery, and the balance between the nervous and endocrine systems. In younger people, the body can compensate to a degree, but after age 60, when endocrine activity naturally declines, nightly disruptions like these can reduce recovery efficiency by up to 40%. Stephen decided to try a simple change. He created a dedicated charging station in the kitchen, where he left his phone plugged in overnight. He also bought a small battery-powered alarm clock to use instead of the phone. At first, he found the new routine a bit inconvenient, but after just 10 nights, he noticed more continuous sleep, better alertness in the morning, and, most notably, the disappearance of his morning headaches and ear ringing. Interestingly, a charger does not need to be actively used to cause disruption, as long as it is plugged in and near the bed. The electromagnetic field remains. So, if you must keep your phone in the bedroom, switch it to airplane mode and place it at least 2 meters away from your head. Even better, build a habit of keeping electronics out of your sleeping space entirely. Sleep is not just a time for the body to rest. It is when the endocrine, nervous, and energy systems are rebuilt, the foundation of overall health in older age. Do not let a small charger interrupt this precious cycle for the sake of convenience. The final item on this list may be gently covering your body every night, but in reality, it could be a blanket of radiation. What does that mean? 5 electric blankets and heating pads. Daniel Rogers, age 75, lives in the cold state of Minnesota and had been using an electric blanket every winter for more than a decade. He felt warm, comfortable, and believed it was the most reasonable way to sleep well when outdoor temperatures dropped. What he didn't expect was that the more he used the electric blanket, the more his body ached. His joints became sore, his sleep became fragmented, and he often felt drained of energy despite not doing any heavy work. One night, after waking up in the middle of the night with an unusually rapid heartbeat, his family decided to take him for a medical checkup. The tests did not reveal any clear heart condition, but the doctor had one suspicion. Are you sleeping with an electronic device in direct contact with your body for many hours every night? Daniel was puzzled he didn't use a phone, had no Wi-Fi in the bedroom, just the electric blanket. According to the Environmental Medicine Research Institute in the United States, electric blankets and heated pads are among the longest-duration electromagnetic exposure sources in close contact with the human body. Unlike a Wi-Fi router placed across the room or a phone on a bedside table, an electric blanket covers the entire body from neck to feet for 7 to 9 hours every night. The electromagnetic fields from these devices can lead to a low-grade, persistent inflammation in body tissues, weaken adrenal function, and disrupt the production of natural male hormones. Dr. Elizabeth Foster, Director of Research at the Institute, noted, in older adults, inflammatory responses are no longer regulated as efficiently. Prolonged exposure to whole-body electromagnetic fields not only disrupts sleep, but also interferes with the endocrine nervous axis, reducing flexibility and vitality that are already more vulnerable after age 60. Following his doctor's advice, Daniel switched to using layered flannel and fleece blankets to warm the bed before sleep. He used a hot water bottle placed 30 minutes ahead of time and removed it before getting in. He also tried using a microwavable rice heating pad on his back each night instead of an electric heating device. The results came sooner than he expected. After 3 weeks, his sleep became deeper, joint pain decreased significantly, and his heartbeat stabilized. What made him happiest was the feeling of refreshment in the morning, something he had not experienced in many years. Sleep is not simply a quiet state. It is the time when the endocrine, nervous, and immune systems work together to restore inner vitality. Any object that interferes with this process, even if it offers temporary comfort, becomes a threat to the natural recovery the aging body so deeply needs. If you are using an electric blanket every night, try sleeping one night without it. You may discover that what makes you truly feel well is not the warmth, but the calm that comes from within. And now that we have explored all 5 familiar but hidden threats, it is time to step back and look at the big picture and begin making small changes tonight to restore your energy and well-being through better sleep. You may have once believed that only big changes could bring big results, but after exploring the 5 familiar bedroom items together, from alarm clocks, Wi-Fi routers, air fresheners, and chargers to electric blankets, what becomes clear is this: it is the smallest things that are silently causing the greatest wear on your health each day. After the age of 60, sleep is no longer just rest. It is the time when hormones are restored, the nervous system is balanced, and energy is regenerated, all of which are essential for men to stay sharp, calm, and strong. When the sleep environment is disrupted by electromagnetic fields or artificial chemicals, the body cannot heal from within, and night after night, this becomes fatigue, poor memory, and a sense of weakness that we often mistake for aging. The good news is you do not need medication, hospital visits, or drastic changes. Just one small action tonight: turning off the Wi-Fi, charging your phone in another room, or replacing an air freshener with a bag of dried lavender can give your body back the kind of rest it truly needs. And from there, your natural recovery process can begin again. If you found today's content helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share this video with loved ones over 60. We will continue to bring you videos on nutrition, exercises, and natural therapies to help older men live stronger, sleep better, and restore their vitality. How many of these 5 items are you using every night? Let us know in the comments. Your experience might help someone else realize what they need to change before it is too late.